Now, Dutch investigators leading the official inquiry into the downing of a passenger jet over East Ukraine last year have found parts of a surface-to-air missile system at the crash site. Sections of the Western media immediately used the finding to pin the blame on Moscow, saying the parts belong to Russian missile. Well, Ron Custer joins me now in the studio to talk more about this. So, Ron, what are your thoughts on these revelations, especially how media picked up on this story? I mean, are there any grounds for that?
Well, I can say right now, this is completely groundless, all the accusations in the mainstream media, and they have absolutely nothing to do with the report in the joint investigative team who are investigating the downing of the MH17. So mainstream media, such as Huffington Post, for example, they were quick to say that it was a Russian-built missile, parts that were found there. Then BBC went and said it was Russian as well. However, the Dutch investigators and their report did not say anything of the kind whatsoever. They did say, however, that they found some parts that could possibly resemble a surface-to-air missile. And it's not too hard to say what the Dutch investigators actually said. Just go to their website. We can look at the excerpt right now, and you will find, that if you go that extra step, that you'll find what they actually said. We did go that extra step, and we also saw what's going on with the BBC and CNN and other mainstream media outlets in regards to this discovery. And we found out that the JIT and the mainstream media completely contradict each other in regards to this story. So let's have a listen.
Criminal investigators in the Netherlands have said for the first time that they have found possible fragments of a Russian missile system where Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 was brought down in eastern Ukraine.
They found bits of metal, essentially, which they believe could be part, possibly is the word they use, of a Russian Buk missile system.
It's still under investigation whether there are parts of a Buk missile system or not. It's too early to draw any conclusion at this moment.
Well, it's interesting to see how different media outlets put their spin on this, of course. So, going back to the question at hand, if it is Buk, for instance, does it mean that Russia was involved in using it automatically?
No, it does not mean that at all. Buk surface-to-air missile has been sold by the Soviet Union and by Russia to over 15 countries out there in the world, including Ukraine, by the way, and the company that makes it, Almaz-Antey. They had their own investigation in this regard, and they found out that if the Buk had been used in MH17, there would indeed be a different modification of the weapon that stopped that's been stopped from the production line over 16 years ago, so it's not used in the Russian army. However, other countries, including Ukraine, they're using that system, and Ukraine currently has at least 1,000 of those Buk missiles, the modification that's been produced in the Soviet Union earlier. So once again, it does not mean anything at all.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Russia has continually been linked to the downing of MH17, hasn't it?
Well, we started talking about sensationalist headlines from the very beginning today, and that's how it's been from the very beginning with the flight MH17. Various mainstream media outlets blamed Russia right away without providing any evidence, and they said that Dutch investigators have already pointed the finger at Russia and other media outlets, but Dutch investigators, they have continually denied assigning blame to anybody whatsoever, and actually they've said that they're looking at two possible versions of this investigation. So let's have a listen to what the investigators are saying in regards to their lead.
We are investigating several scenarios. First of all, which is well known all over the world, is the scenario in which the flight MH17 was shot down by a Buk missile that was launched somewhere from the eastern Ukraine. And the second scenario, we are investigating the scenario in which a jet fighter with an air-to-air missile shot down flight MH17.
So the investigation is obviously ongoing. It's far from being complete, and Dutch investigators, they don't know the answer as to who downed that airplane. But as always, people are in mainstream media quick to assign the blame by, I guess it's wishful thinking or wanting to hear what they think is right, but the official investigation has been extended just recently, and it's going on right now.
Yeah, and as you said, there's 2 investigations taking place at the moment, and sure, there will be more leads and findings as it develops. Thanks so much, Roman, for talking to us here in the studio discussing this issue.